What is up, down, and sideways, you beautiful creatures? We are back on League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. And now, the minute we've got more than 2 days in between games, the offseason rumors, they start flying before we're even finished with the World Championship.
Quarterfinals wrap up, and absolutely, that's when the rumors ramp right up. Lots to talk about. These ones are juicy rumors, and you better believe there's multiple layers to this rumors that we got to go through.
I don't know if this first one, eSports Manicos, who were dropping this one, the guys there were waiting out of respect for Cloud9 to be eliminated from Worlds to, avoid the distractions with this one. But not even 24 hours after Cloud9 is eliminated, we're learning the big rumor is that Perkz and Alphari are looking to play together on a team in 2022. Vitality is the main team again. All rumors, as we've always got to preface with all this offseason stuff. You remember before Perkz went to Cloud9, this was a rumor that him and Alphari would be going to Vitality. Before they ended up going to the LCS, it was something Ocelot didn't want to see happen. That's going to be a whole lot of money if Vitality is doing that, because Alphari and Perkz are both contracted through to 2023.
Yeah, you're talking major, capital M, major levels of cash from Vitality if they want to see this rumor come to fruition. It's crazy. You're thinking about Perkz, you're thinking about the hot tub rumors, getting things going on. You hit up Iceland, you're hitting up the Blue Lagoon, the big natural hot tub.
Yeah,
and
hot springs are even better than hot tubs.
That's where you get the next level of rumor discussions coming through. And that's where we get these rumors about this conversation with Alphari happening once again. Because if you remember, just over a short year ago, there were talks about a Vitality super team coming through. And what were the two names? The two biggest ones attached to that super team? Yeah, it was Perkz and Alphari.
And even back then, Vitality just kind of felt like Vitality. That's the team that's going to be making up a super team. I wasn't fully convinced. And obviously, they had a hype off season when they had leaders, self-made, all that action happened. But this is another level. And like we said, Jack is going to want to make his Perkz money back, basically, if he's doing a buyout. We know Alphari, I think he was in the $1 to $2 million range for salaries. I know that these guys are boys, and I fully believe that they would want to play together. Is there any chance this happens in North America? Because your boy, Travis Gafford, was talking evil geniuses want to get a super team going. And I can't see Jack or Steve selling these guys to another LCS squad.
You know what? If they're as smart as they should be, and yeah, they've made enough of this money, they should be pretty darn smart. You're not selling these guys to North American organizations to let them go together, pair up, and put dominance on the table, not only for LCS, but internationally. And I think, yes, both these guys want success for North America internationally, but they want to be the forefront of that success. And you do it with players like Perkz and Alphari, handing them over to a competitor. I don't see that happening. Someone like Steve with Team Liquid, he has absolutely learned and benefited from a situation with TSM, the exodus of Doublelift to Team Liquid and the success that he had there. There's no way I see a similar situation to let go Alphari, who clearly, take your pick who you want as number 2, number 3. Number 1 is Alphari as far as the top laners go in North America. And then when you're looking at what Perkz has done, the difference maker that he can be for Cloud9, how they got to groups, I don't see Jack wanting to move from that either. So again, you'd have to pay even more to get them budging from that position. And then on top of it, to get them combined and get both agreements, yeah, evil geniuses, you got a better chance bringing Chovy over to this side of the pond.
Listen, this is a rare case where Perkz and Alphari, both of them, despite how their seasons ended, they survived a year in NA. I feel like so many times it's an LEC player coming over to play in North America, and they play for a year, and the career trajectory is just right down. But Perkz and Alphari both still had outstanding performances and are still going to be sought after if they do end up going back to the LEC. And you better believe if everyone's hearing about this rumor, it's not just going to be Vitality. There's going to be other teams in Europe calling for one or both of these guys just to get a little check and see what's going on.
Yeah, and these are the type of moves, the type of big power players, these rumors if they ever come to fruition, the shockwave that this sends throughout the League of Legends community and space, teams trying to counteract, trying to react to those moves being made, trying to stay competitive, trying to realize, oh, you know what? Maybe we're out of our depth. Maybe we take a step back, sell off, and try to rebuild. All sorts of things can happen when you're talking about this magnitude of a shift in the Western League of Legends space that it would be if Perkz and Alphari were ever to join forces for a team.
And, Reckless might be looking for a new team as well, 2021. If you're throwing out money, throw some Reckless's way. Make a real super team over in EU.
You can get real creative with some of these ones that if now you're bringing in Perkz and Alphari into that conversation about what you can build this offseason. It's going to get real wacky, and it's going to get real expensive for somebody.
You might get something like that, or you might get a little high five as they pass on the plane. Perkz leaves back to EU. Reckless comes over to old TSM for 2022.
You know what? Bjergsen coming back into the league, Perkz just leaves the league.
Yeah, he's scared. He's scared to go against Bjergsen. That's got to be what this rumor's all about.
I think if there's anything we've known about Perkz, he's not really scared about playing against anybody.
I think he's played a little better than Bjergsen. No offense,
I think that's also a little bit fair in this 1 year, but it's wild to think that this is where we are with these rumors, and we're just coming off of an off season where we had the rumor about Perkz leaving G2 and being a little bit slightly doubtful of that, and then the rumors about Reckless leaving Fnatic being extremely doubtful about that. And they both come true. So I don't know what to say about this rumor coming in about Alphari and Perkz. As far as joining in North America, I doubt it for many, logistical reasons and what teams wouldn't want to be going through and what Jack and Steve wouldn't want. And then you're talking about on the other side, I don't necessarily believe in Vitality and the idea about a Vitality super team because we've heard it so many times. How many times have we heard that they want to do it, who they're talking with, the money behind it? And it never has happened.
Yeah, and, it felt like little brother super team with leader, self-made, crown shot. You're like, okay, that's a fun team. Could be exciting. But this,
good first try. Let's go back
Alphari and Perkz on a team is like, we want a deep run at Worlds. That's expectation and goals for a roster with them. Kind of like G2 this year with Reckless over there. But didn't quite reach those goals. The other bit of rumors are about the floundering of FPX, their end at the World Championship. Obviously, now we have this added information that Tien's health issues, wrist issues, other things were back at the forefront at Worlds, which is, of course, incredibly unfortunate if he's wasn't even able to practice as much, it sounds like, as the team wanted. Terrible timing for that. But the rumor is, and we kind of alluded to this, thought it might happen, it looks like basically the entire starting five from Worlds for FPX will be gone into the wayside. Doinb, it sounds like he's not retiring, and I know this is a rumor, something that we've talked about for a couple years now since they won Worlds, but fresh off an MVP, how good he looked this year and how bad the ending of the year was for FPX, it makes sense that he wouldn't want to retire on that note.
I would be devastated if he would retire on that type of note. What he has accomplished, what he means in his career, to end on that type of note, not what anybody wants from one of their favorite players, but what you see with this FPX roster, and as you said, what we felt might be the case. You made all these moves. You made, the change from Khan to Nuggery and everything else. All the ups and downs of this year, the success, how good you have looked. And then to come up short, the way that you did at this World Champions and the disappointment and embarrassment of it. We didn't know if you could go back to this lineup or what you did and how you would try to adapt. The only real option that came to the forefront was that it had to be blown up, that you would go back to the drawing board, try again at some other point, say goodbye to this roster, and that's what seems to be the case, and specifically with the two biggest players in Doinb and Nuggery.
Yeah, so for the other guys, Tien, if the health issues are a thing, I feel like retirement is going to be the closer option for him because obviously, just like what we saw with Uzi and RNG, health comes first, even if you are, a world champion or one of the best players at the time. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see that out of Tien. LWX and Crisp heading into free agency or being open. The market's not going to be as nice to them as it is to somebody like Doinb, even though these guys are world champions, and also part of this rumor for Nuguri. It sounds like a couple, or at least one LCK team has already, reached out to him for coming back to Korea for next year. And when I'm looking at the rosters, I feel like one of these teams, it's got to be Nongshim or Hanwha Life. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and it is an extremely exciting prospect to think about and slightly worrying at the same time. I'll say worrying first because, we've got 3 out of 4 semifinal teams from the LCK already, and now you're thinking about adding Nuguri and Doin B back into that league? Oh, man, it is going to be scary. When you mention those two teams, a team like a Nongshim, Hanwha Life, absolutely. Bringing someone over like Nuguri, the pedigree that he brings, and the proven experience that he has, you better believe that that is an upgrade in all facets of the game and completely changes the type of success that, and a little step forward that both of those organizations, I think you could say, made absolutely this year. You're taking another giant leap step forward when you're adding Nuguri to that starting lineup.
Rich was probably the biggest weak spot throughout a lot of the split for Nongshim. So if you fill in Nuguri, that's great. And for Hanwha Life, early in the offseason, you got to be giving Chovy reasons to stay. And if you say right away, hey, we got Nuguri, okay, then Chovy's going to at least sit there and listen to you guys. Doin B, I feel like is still going to play in the LPL. We talked about Chovy to LNG. Doin B to LNG sounds pretty fantastic. Also, what's going to be absolutely insane in this offseason is free agent mid laners. You've got Doin B, Chovy, Rookie, who rumored he might be retiring alongside that, but Knight as well. That's 4 of the best mid laners on the planet that are all going to be entering free agency.
Oh, man, and there's going to be wild amount of money thrown at these guys. It is going to be such a thrill and exciting time during this free agency offseason that will be coming up our way after the World Championship.
And pretty much all of those guys can be people who change your entire trajectory of your organization for not just a year, but forever.
Yeah, they're extremely game-changing type of players. When you're talking about, we're mentioning the super team or super team B that Vitality tried to assemble. That's because you're looking at kind of B-tier superstar level players, and that's not meant in any type of disrespect. But when you're looking at the Perkz, the Alphari, maybe even a tier above them, world champions, Nuguri, Doin B.
That's your S+ tier.
Absolutely. You're talking about a huge change for the fortunes of your team and fan base.
So that's going to be the free agency in the mid lane in particular is definitely going to be one of the things that we'll be following throughout this offseason. But if these are rumors still going on during the World Championship, it's probably only going to get more insane as we head into the next year. But that's it today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you on that flippity flip.